Hello everyone, welcome to Hello Code World. My name is Aysun and I'm here to make your coding journey easier. Today I will speak about Fetch API. It will be a short video, but by the end of the video, you will have a solid understanding what is Fetch API and how to use it. If this is something you are interested, please keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome to Hello Code World. Today I will explain Fetch API. If you want those videos to continue, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps. Now let's think. When we open an application, what is happening? Let's think about the Facebook app, right? We open a Facebook app and you go to your friend's page maybe, and suddenly the data about your friend uh, show up. What is happening behind the scenes? Actually, the browser is making a GET request. That's what it's called, to bring the data about your friend, which is probably stored somewhere near your location in another device. We call it server. This data flows on any other data you will request is going to flow to your browser, or you want to delete something from the page, so you delete it, and this is called also the delete request. Now you are communicating the delete request with the server to remove this data, or you want to change something, or you want to post something and put request and the post request. Every kind interaction is framed in a request type. And all those request types can be communicated through Fetch API. It's part of it, okay? All these kind of requests are abstracted away through the Fetch API. And because it is part of the browser, the Fetch API, you can just take the function and use it. You don't need to import it, you don't need to install it or anything like this. It's very easy. Now let's check it out. Okay, I open my VS Code like any other time with the browser. And now let's open inspect developer tools, the console, to see if everything is connected. Clicking. If I just write here the console.log, hello, let me see if it is there. Yes. So now whatever I'm going to write into the console is going to appear here. Perfect. Fetch. Now, as I said, we can just take the fetch and use it like so, okay? That's it. It's the fetch method. Now let's see how we are going to use it. By default, the fetch method is going to make a get request. Just like in the beginning of the video, I spoke about request types, right? So the get was about getting the data. And the formula behind of it, the basic use case, inside of the fetch function, you are writing your URL, API address, okay, URL as a parameter. You are passing it as a parameter, as a string. And because the fetch API is going to return a promise type, we can resolve the promises either with the then method or async await. I'm going to show the then first. So I need to chain the then method like so, okay? And what the then method is going to do is going to catch the response from the API. And the response is going to flow as a JSON data. Remember? Well, if you don't know the JSON, what is JSON? I have a video and I will put the link below. Please check it out. So, because the JSON is flowing to your app, you cannot process really the JSON. You need to parse the JSON and convert it to a JavaScript object. Okay. So the response.json, that's what it is going to do. And this is going to take some time. That's why this then here is also going to return another promise. We need another then chain, another then here to resolve that promise. Now I have my data and I can console.log my data. This is how you can use the fetch API for the get request. You don't need to pass a special parameter because this is it is default behavior, and that's exactly it. Okay. Now I'm going to comment this out and use the fetch API with a real URL to bring some data. So fetch, just like in the formula, and let's write like HTTPS JSON placeholder. This is just a API for fake data, and I should get some users data now. Okay. The rest is the same. Well, I chained it then twice, like so. Now let me just bring this a little bit up. Here in the console, you will see an array of objects, okay? And every user has an object here represented by an object, like, and we have idea what is the address, name, phone, username, etc. Okay? So this is how we can use the fetch API for the get request. Now let's see the post request, how we can send some data. Of course, again, the formula is going to be the similar, but not exactly the same, okay? Now, let me just comment out this part and post request with fetch API. Okay. First thing first, the fetch part is the same, like we have the method, okay? And this time though, the fetch method is going to accept two parameters. Remember, on the top, we had only one parameter and it was the URL. Here, we are again going to have our URL, but next to it, we have to pass an object to give some information because it makes sense that you are sending some data, and what is this data? You need to attach this data to the request. Okay, so in that object you will specify the type of the data you are sending and also attach the data to the body of the request. Mm, and please pay attention here. Also, I'm going to change the URL address for the post request. In the same URL, we will have this time slash posts. Now, there is the object. Okay. Let me just remove that part and close the object here and close the fetch method. In this second parameter, in that object, I have a method property. There, I am letting know the fetch. I am sending a post request. I have to set it. It's not default with the method property. Now, as the second parameter, I will have the headers. On the headers of the request, with this line, I'm saying my data is going to be a JSON format. Now, as the third parameter, I'm passing the body here. And in the body, I must include the object, the data I'm sending, title in the data, I have three properties: the title, body, user ID. This depending on the API you are communicating. Of course, the data is going to be different format, but please pay attention because that is the data here is a JavaScript object. I must convert it to a JSON format with the JSON stringify. So we are converting the data here, attaching the data here as a JSON string. Okay. Um, Now we can again chain with the then and catch the response, parse back to the JSON. Um, well, we can use the catch method here to catch any errors as well. Console.log error. Okay. Require. I have an automatic from the VS Code edition of this line, which creates the issue. Now we can see that in the console the data. So our post request was successful. Okay. Okay, now let's speak how we can update a post, change a post. Again, I will just comment here and updating a post with fetch API. Um, the fetch methods again here, and now again we will have two parameters. Okay, first the URL and an object. In the object we will make it clear what we want to change. But first the URL. URL is going to be posts/1. Here, this slash one, if you just copy paste this URL, okay, the posts up to here, you will see bunch of posts. But if you just come here and place a /1 like so, you will get a specific post with the ID number 1. Well, it makes sense. You want to specify the post, you want to make a change on it, right? So that is how we communicate it. Sometimes we speak with an API and send data through the URL, and this is one of the cases, okay? Now, the second parameter is going to be an object, as I said. Well, first, we will clarify the method. Method is going to be put request. And the second, the data we are sending, again, specifying what kind of data we are sending. And in the body, we want to specify the new changed post in an object, in a JavaScript object again. And of course, we are stringifying it, JSON stringifying it before we send, before and then attach to the body. Okay, so user ID and all. Now the response is going to be, of course, resolved through the then, and then we will cache the data through then, and we will catch an error if there is. So if we go to the console now, it is from 376 the data. We change the specific post to that now. Okay, and that's how we apply the put request. Okay, this is the put. Now let's speak about delete. Deleting a post with the fetch API. Let's scroll up a little bit. Well, the fetch method again, and we need to specify which post we want to delete. So /1/2, whatever you want. And again, we are passing, because this is not a default behavior in the object. Okay, there is no data I want to send, so the body property won't make any sense in that object. But I must say that the method is going to be delete. Okay. Now let's just cache the response and the data and any error might come with. Okay, so because it is deleted, now we got an empty object. Okay, we speak about Fetch API and how to communicate through Fetch API to another API. And we spoke about the delete and put and post and get request. I hope that was helpful. Hope to see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.